I will... He left.
I've been on to you and your little friends for weeks. Boo! Boo! Boo!
I'm not even in the scene!
Boo! Stop! They're not... Stop! Boo! Okay, she shot me.
What a great boss you turned out to be. Best boss I ever had.
I want my baby back, baby back, baby back.
I want my baby back, baby back, baby back. I want my baby back, baby back, baby back. I want my
Baby back ribs. Okay, that's blank. Don't
sleep with your boss. Do you think this is referring to you boning Jan?
What are you doing? What? Those are my keys.
Good luck.
What? Jim! Damn it! No! Jim, let me out! Jim, let... Right. There is no way in hell that I am going to say that we're broke. Oh, I'm really worried I'm going to say it.
Jim, check that out.
What is it?
That is vodka, and I mixed it with orange juice. I call it an orange vodka juice.
Shh. Gentle.
Don't. Stop. Dwight. Beautiful. He is beautiful. This big fat pig is beautiful.
Shibuya roll call. My name is Kevin. Yeah. That is my name. Yeah. They call me Kevin. Yeah. Because that's my name. Roll call. Shibuya. Yeah.
And while I eventually puked my guts out, I never puked my heart out.
Dunder Mifflin is a part of Celebrate.
Say yeah.
Dunder Mifflin is a part of Saber. Dunder Mifflin is a part of Saber.
That's it for me.
Do you wear boxers, briefs, or pantaloons?
Oh, well, you're very saucy.
I bought this for myself. And yesterday, they gave me this.
It's Michael Scott.
Do we still have jobs?
I don't know. Probably not. This is the worst.
Okay, I'm not gonna make it. I'm turning back.
There's got to be a better way to do this. This is literally how they built the pyramids.
Well, they whipped people, which was helpful.
Tell me, Dana, how is your chicken breast?
Oh, it's great. It's served with our world-famous wing sauce.
Sounds yummy.
Yo, good morning, family. Do you guys have audio? Do you guys have video? Is the name of the movie? You guys were just watching The Office, which is a TV show, not a movie. But do you guys not have Trading View up? Let me see. Alright. There we go. I'm not sure what's good with YouTube today, giving us a few issues, man. We should be good now. Alright. Let's take a quick look at these markets. I'm gonna turn up the music, but I'm gonna take a quick look, do some analysis. And we'll come back and we'll vibe out, see what we could trade today. Actually close below on that volume, nice. NQ held up really nice overnight, huh? I don't know, did anybody hold those NQ buys yesterday into end of day? I know a bunch of us got out at 10 AM at the 1 to 5, which, I mean, I'm cool with myself, but it did run for like, hold on, let's check before we move off. This did run into end of day. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, it was up at the highs, and yeah, 345, so even on a prop firm account, even if you were on Top Step, you could have held that all the way into the close. Milked that for everything yesterday for a nice 1 to 11. So I don't know if any of you guys actually did that. Good morning, Matt. But that was a beautiful, beautiful trade from yesterday. Unfortunately, I don't think we'll get a repeat of yesterday. I think we're gonna find a 1 to 11 in the markets today. Who knows? We might. Somebody will. But I don't think market conditions are ideally here for us. Yeah, that's held up well overnight. Let's go take a look at ES. Same kind of story, holding up really good overnight. The Dow, a little bit more volatility right now. Turn that music down low for you guys too. We'll get into some levels we're looking at in a second. Gold had a really good night, actually. I know who was looking at this in chat. I want to say it was JP, right? Yeah. I'm unsure if JP and Jose are the same people. For the time being, I'm going to assume yes. But he was looking for, I know, longs last night, which was not a bad setup at all. I know he was looking for below this lone candle, which I would have also been looking for as well. So he didn't quite get alerted about this. Actually, I don't know if he was looking. I looked for the bottom of the candle. Yeah, he's just like me right here. Yeah, so he probably wouldn't have been alerted about this, but it was the low of the day. So far, anyway. I mean, I suppose we can come back and take that, but again, I doubt it. So the current low of the day right now. So I don't know if anybody actually traded into that. Again, it didn't swipe the candle, but we were paying attention to the 5-minute. Which, for those of you that are not a part of the trader room, you may not be familiar with this concept, because I have not told it yet on YouTube. But the erase of, oh, actually, I misread this on my phone earlier, huh? This is where the high volume resides. Okay, never mind. Scratch that. We probably wouldn't have taken that. Yes, gold had a very good night. Again, I think this is gonna be difficult to trade now. Oil was another trade yesterday that worked out well. I did not take this setup myself, but people were looking at it. See, again, I question whether this happens today, but I would be willing on oil to play from both sides of this range, because we do have this lone candle here, which has not been swiped twice. So ideally, I'd probably want to trade down, because again, lone candles are usually going to work the first time, they don't work the second time. Betting on it on a third time is just ridiculous. Same thing with like almost anything technical wise, whether it's supports, resistances, any way you want to look at it, right? When any POI that gets tested 2-3 times is getting weaker as it gets tested, right? That should be simple logic, I would hope, for most people. So I would be interested to play, again, under these lows, if something were to form. Like, if there's a really nice live OB here, I would be open to taking that. But I would prefer if we came and, like, filled this wick, got some action up at, like, the 8360 area here, 8364. You know, if we can reach back up here on some high volume that doesn't really get a nice close, I'd rather trade to the downside here, I think. I mean, you have easy targets below, like, these lows. Again, you can fight about where it would stop internally here, or if it just takes, you know, even lower, but again, we're moving into a bank holiday, you know, here today, so we'll be done by 1 p.m. This is a lot of movement for oil. And like, you might get something today where if demand can come in here, you can play like this just to here, scalp the range, and then maybe during rollover you get a better setup to go short. Again though, shorting this is not preferred in the macro, but I think we've made a pretty decent local top until proven. Some good sell volume here as we break down. Again, the only thing that would convince me otherwise is a really nice setup to the buy side that I could take low risk. So again, maybe something sets up here today on oil. Again, we could scalp this around. Gold, if you're not already on the gold train, that's out for the day. And indices will check after open. These don't look too good pre-market. You could let this, unless you like this to the short side, to come down to maybe 2162. I don't think I'd try to get in the short side this late. That's just me though. I don't think any of these are lagging behind either. Yeah, YM. I don't have ES in my watch list, but I'm sure it's the same thing. My CFD position was open and closed at 110. Oh, I called a 1 to 110. Okay, let's go, brother. It was a good trading yesterday. Again, you doubled up on what we doubled up. Again, I found my exits yesterday above this wick. Again, for the time being, I was okay with that, but it just ended up reaccumulating and pushing higher. But I can't be mad with the 1 to 5. We were done by 10 a.m. No stress, off the charts. I mean, I was chilling. Alright, let's see what news just came out. Probably nothing anybody cares about. Let's see. Trade balances, continuing jobless claims. I guess this comes out every week. Numbers coming out higher, we love to see it. Initial jobless claims, low tick up. Cool. Again, this stuff comes out every week. I don't really care. Somebody said something about ADP though. Did we have ADP today? It is NFP week. Wouldn't we have had ADP on like Monday? We did at 1:15 or 8:15. Family, we find out this week. Actually, we could speak on this because I don't know if we'll be live on Friday, but actually we'll have to be. At least in the trade room, we'll have to be. We do have NFP and unemployment coming out. And I told you guys when this result came out last month, right, this prior 272. Again, I'm still calling bullshit on this number. I don't really care too much what this NFP number comes out as. I mean, I like the 190 forecast. I want to see if this gets revised. I want to see if the prior gets revised. I'm willing to bet it does. I think they take this down like at least 30k. I'm hoping they revise it by like 50, 60, maybe like 70. Again, more in line with like the private number here, down to like 220. Because I think this is just bullshit. I think this is manipulated numbers. Again, when you look into the jobs numbers, they're not great. You're losing a bunch of full-time positions. You're gaining part-time positions, but not at like the 2-to-1 ratio that you should be. So it's at like a 1 to 1.5 ratio, which is just not. Again, you're net losing jobs in that scenario. You're net losing working hours. That's the point. So that's like annoying. I'm just saying that I think these numbers are manipulated. Again, you have unemployment that's ticking up now about 4%. Again, the forecast is 4%. You guys know me. I'm a big on cheering for this to come out at 4.1. We need to see that 4.1. In fact, I would love to see 4.2 because 4.1 again is just matching some old stuff. So we really need like 4.2 to come out. Again, I'm okay with the slow gradual increases here, but I'm super excited to see these numbers come out on Friday. Again, I really am betting on a revision here. With 190 in the forecast, I think if we get anything around this 190, it can even come out higher. It can even come out at 205, 208 if it wants to. As long as this gets revised down, the dollar will likely enter, you know, a little bit of free fall for the day. That would be my expectation anyway, especially with the pent-up holiday volume and all that fun stuff today. So I'd be highly betting on that stuff. And again, the dollar I think is still in a ripe position to fall. I mean, it's already doing that right now, which again is something that we discussed yesterday. Still targeting this liquidity down here. I think there's a good chance we end the week down in this inefficiency imbalance for the people that are here under the ICT trading logics. But yeah, I think very easily we get down to the 104.57. Now if NFP does we gotta plan for the worst as well, which would be like a repeat of last month where NFP kind of comes out crazy at like 250, 270. And in that case, I probably put the dollar pretty high. Definitely above like 105.45. But we don't care about that. If that happens, so be it. It is what it is. Again, I have no positions that are currently... Actually, that's a lie. I'm actually long on gold. But this is not coming back to my entry, so good luck. But yeah, I don't have any like near or recently opened risk that I care about. I am long gold on my personal account still, which I haven't updated because again, I know a lot of us focus in the trade room on like a day-to-day basis. And if you're in this, you knew my plan anyway. Again, I was targeting 23.54. But again, we're not going to close out because there's no reason to close out. You know, again, you guys know my belief about inefficiencies too. There's no way that gold doesn't just erase all of this inefficiency. There's just no way. I refuse to believe. There's nothing that the market is telling me right now that would make me believe that. Could it do something here? Yeah, maybe. But again, especially moving into NFP, I don't see why gold isn't, again, trading like near 23.80 by end of week. And if we're not closing at 23.80, because we could close down, then we would have already achieved the move up here anyway. So yeah, again, I think it's going to be a pretty tough week. A lot of stuff is just already running. And we've already had a pretty good week so far. Again, we do have our eyes on oil today, and possibly some NQ action if we can get a nice little dip. Again, I would like to see it run down at the open, preferably take out at this 2163 area. Again, I'm not interested in trading down towards this, just because I feel like, one, if you were going to do that, I have to be trading in or around fresh liquidity. So again, I wasn't sitting at my desk at 6 o'clock, so there was just nothing that would have caused me to get into a sell at any point after that. And I do want it to run after the open, because I want people at the open to get more or less suckered in. I want the 9:30 traders, 9:35 traders, people pushing the button pre-10 a.m. to kind of get suckered into that sell side. This way by 10 a.m. we can maybe hit a turnaround, and if everything aligns, and some of those people stops, whatever it may be. But yeah, what's good, chat? You're quiet. I don't know if you guys are looking at anything. I'll be more than happy to take a look at any charts you guys have, or give you guys my levels for certain pairs. But outside of that, man, we're gonna look at this oil. I'm gonna bring NQ over as well, just so we have the split screen today. And if it's your first time here, welcome. Shout out to you. Alright, now let's go hit the X feed, see what other people are talking about real quick. Anything interesting comes up, I will put it on screen, we'll talk about it. But I do have to keep this hidden because X be on some weird algorithm type stuff, especially in comments. Which prop firm believes they have the least rules that a trader needs to take into account during the challenge or funded phase? You know, I used to say that was Funding Pips. I guess we'll speak on this for just like a minute or two, but Funding Pips, really, man, I mean, I don't currently trade with him anymore. I don't know how many of you guys do. Let me know in the chat if you do, specifically because, again, a lot of these changes are just not things that I would have been cool with as a trader there. But again, that's just me. But and to answer this question, what prop firm believes they have the least rules that a trader needs to take into account? I don't know, man. I would still say Top Step, probably. I mean, what do I have to worry about Top Step? Like, not losing money and don't make more than 50%? I mean, that's pretty simple. I don't think it gets any more simple than that on the futures side. My Forex funds might be that simple. Or not, I'm sorry. My funded futures might be that simple as well. Am I looking at any crypto positions right now? I mean, not really, bro. I mean, at this point in the cycle, like, unless there's a token that's new, or at least new from the bear market, like lows, like, if it's something that's come out recently, in like a year and a half, anything that's older than a year and a half, I'm not really buying anymore. The only things that I have my DCA turned on for are, I think it's Ethereum, because I've turned off my Polkadot DCA. Yeah, the only thing that I have running actively is Ethereum, because I stopped accumulating Bitcoin as well. So I probably should up my Ethereum accumulation. And if you're curious why that is because Ethereum in its macro has not made a new all-time high yet, whereas Bitcoin is either above or below its old all-time high, depending on the price and the range. So for me, it's just like, it's easier for me to bet on this going for all-time highs than it is for Bitcoin to continuously, you know, just better opportunity, really. And again, you can keep applying that to anything. You can be like, whoa, bro, you just mentioned DOT, like, you can go to DOT and make that same argument. Yeah, the argument here is, though, that I don't think DOT makes a new all-time high. So, like, there's that. So, yeah, out of everything, bro, I really only have my DCA still turned on for Ethereum. And again, I don't mind accumulating this at any price it wants to fall to. Again, it would be nice to get, you know, as close to like 3K as we can. Maybe we take out this range low. Again, I don't know. Bitcoin's kind of at the extreme of its range. I mean, this could slip 56 one more time, maybe. I don't know, the Bitcoin's history, it probably plays off the LP one more time. Interestingly enough, too, it might have already kind of did, but we're still kind of coming down. So I'm not really doing anything crazy with crypto right now, dude. Again, if you guys can go back on my socials, man, I mean, I did a vast majority of my accumulation down here. You know, so I'm not really financially motivated to accumulate here. It's like, I'm just messing up my average price by buying more. So, it's all perspective. Again, for me, for this cycle, a lot of my DCA happened down here. And to be fair, I mean, there were DCAs that happened up here too, but my average price is probably like somewhere, if I went back and did all the calculations just for this year, or the last, I should say at this point, the last 2 years are probably like in this 35k range. So I'm already like doubled up on most of my coin. There's just really no reason for me to keep my foot on the gas, you know? Even if I think it's gonna go higher, it's just like at some point there's opportunity call. Like you have to, again, like I'm buying low, and in this case holding on to it, you know, for as long as I can. It's been years now, 7 to 8 years I've been accumulating this and just holding on to it, and it's been wonderful to me. It's by far, again, next to like Tesla and Nvidia, my greatest percent earnings, and Matic, you know. So again, like I'm playing a different game here, bro. I really am. It's just like, I've stopped day trading this stuff. There's no need. Let's make your money, man. Park your money there. Park your money there. I'm just sad about the DXY. Sane. Yeah, Sane, I know. All your dreams got crushed. Actually, Sane, I don't even want to hear it, because didn't your chart... Hold on, I'm gonna call you out right now. Because if I go back in the Discord here... Fuck, we spam this chat with so much stuff, huh? If I go back, I'm pretty sure you were waiting for a spike below this 104.90, so don't give me that, bro. By NFP, Saint's gonna have a whole different mindset. Unless it comes out how like I want it to come out. Where did my, oh, there it is. Right, I'm pretty sure your chart was something like this. So, I don't even want to hear it that you're disappointed yet. Coin and Tesla. Yeah, you know, Coin's another good one. Again, I would not really recommend it up here. Again, this is one that we're already like 4x'd on, so... Again, guys, there's a very strict rule that I follow on like social media, right? When I talk about investments or trades or anything, I only like to talk about them if I'm actually accumulating them. Like, there's a lot of people that will buy something and it'll go up 100%, and like that's when they'll gain the confidence to talk about it. I think that's the worst way to go about it. Like, if you're already up 100%, 200% on something, there's no point in talking about it, right? The market is going to do what the market does. The opportunity that you're enjoying is not there for anybody else. Again, like when you're accumulating coin down to like 50, that's great. It's like you should speak on it. You should speak on the optimism that you have for like said stock. But like once it starts breaking out up to like 170, it's like you're already up 200%. Like you don't have the same conviction at that price that you do at other pricing. And this is why I tell you guys, this is why I consistently tell you things that you see on like CNBC or Bloomberg is a waste of your time, because they only report on what has happened in the market, right? They're again, we watched a little bit of it yesterday, right? They were talking about like Costco and other stocks like that. I really forget what else besides Costco. We didn't watch it too long. But it's like everything they said about Costco was stuff that already happened. They didn't say anything about like future expectations. If anything, they said, oh, well, because of what it's done, it might slow down. It's like, then what are we talking about? Like, what's the point? So at the end, like coin, even like Tesla, like I told you guys yesterday, like there's no point in me talking about Tesla anymore. I told you guys that I like the stock in the 180 range. I was like, I'm buying this in the 180 range. I'm not going to tell you to buy it up here at 231. I'm just not. It's just pointless. Like at this point, I'm not going to talk about this anymore. If this starts breaking out above 266, above the 310, which is where we expected to consolidate next, it's like, there's no benefit to me doing that. The opportunity is just not there anymore. Same thing. It's why the only thing I say about Nvidia is that I sold some Nvidia. I would never say buy. Like, Nvidia is a great stock. I already own it. I already own it. I've owned it for months. Actually, at this point, about a year and 1 month. So it's like the only thing that I talk about with this is that I sold some shares and I put it into Tesla. Just no other reason to talk about it. You know, so that's kind of why, like, same thing with like Bitcoin. It's like I've stopped talking about Bitcoin because it's like, again, like, yeah, there is opportunity here, and I do think that the growth will be great, but the person that buys it here, they're probably not going to find their exit at the right time. And maybe price comes back and corrects this. Maybe not for like 2-3 years. But again, you'll probably get another opportunity below 80. Wouldn't surprise me. Anyway, let's go back to watching some shorter term price action stuff, even though these charts are doing nothing today. I shouldn't say that they're doing nothing. Somebody's gonna be like, bro, the Nasdaq fell 30 points. To which I get, but they're not doing anything in terms of setting up for us to take a trade, so. Let's see, we got... It'll be interesting if we take those equal lows in the DXY prior to 10 AM news. Yeah, I mean, Wally, I've told you this before, but like, and there's nothing wrong with this. Alright, let me start by saying that. But you care more about ISM than I do. Or I don't care what ISM comes out as. I really just don't. I'm honest with you guys. Listen, there's only a certain number of fundamental events that I care about, and a lot of the soft data. And again, you might not consider ISM services soft data. I do, but again, like it doesn't give me any insight into some of the macros that I'm playing. Like the one macro that I'm betting on more than anything is that unemployment is gonna rise. Right? I keep saying this. If it's your first time here, you haven't heard me speak on it. All you really need to understand is that I think the labor market is weakening faster than the Fed is acknowledging. I won't say that they don't know that it's happening, but I will say they're at least not acknowledging it publicly. Again, it is still historically low. We got 4%. It's great, but it's moving up, and it's gonna start to move up with some force once we get above 4.2%, and I think we'll be at 5% sooner than the Fed wants us to be. That's for sure. So, again, any soft data that doesn't give me insights to that is just not high on my list. When you get ready to sell your assets like stocks, do you sell all of it, or do you at least keep some in there? It depends on the stock. Something like Nvidia, like I didn't sell all my Nvidia. In fact, I exited Nvidia in 3 different locations over a period of time. Some of those being better decisions than others. Some of them were before the split, right? Were pre-split, which was not the best idea. But I also didn't know the split was coming at that point. I sold some Nvidia at which would be post-split pricing of like 88, right? Like down in this range. So I sold some Nvidia down here. Not the best of choices, right? Because it even still to this day, right now, it is, you know, up an additional 40%. So be it. You know, I put that capital somewhere else, which not that thing is not up 40%. I don't even think I'm up on that. I put that into WBD, mostly because a friend hit me up and I was like, fuck it, I like to play too. But, you know, so we're down maybe like what on this? Like we got, I don't even know, it's like 8 and change. It's okay, so we're like down 13% when we should be up an additional 40%. That's just the reality of investing. You know, this is like a 5-year play, so again, there's nothing wrong with that. Then I made 2 other exits on a video. Then I made both were post split exits at that point, and it was like at like 124, and then again at like 128, and both times I moved the money into Tesla. So, and they were like 2 days apart, to be fair. So it's like I don't exit everything, and the reason that I exited more in a video was also because of the split. I mean, it split 1 to 10, so it's like at that point, a position that was already up, I could take a I could take a smaller percentage out because I had more shares, right, than I would have had to take otherwise. So no, I don't always exit everything. It depends on the play, man. I mean, like, Nvidia is a strong stock. Like, it's, again, I think it's a little overvalued. That's besides the point. Again, that's my opinion. The market in my opinion are not always gonna do the same thing. So I do believe this is overvalued, but I also believe that money is gonna become more accessible in the future. So this can run irrational, like most things can that are perceived to be valued. So again, I'm not going to exit all of it, but if I was playing something that I didn't have that kind of high long-term conviction in, yeah, I might take like 80% of it, 90% of it. I might even close 100% of it. It really just depends on how much I have in there, what I can do. Like, every situation is different, bro. It's the same thing. Like, if we took this oil trade, right? It's like, let's say, you know, or not even, like, let's look at like NASDAQ yesterday. Like, this was our play yesterday on NASDAQ. You know, I closed my trade at a 1 to 5. I even said it could run for more. I was like, I wouldn't be surprised if we close higher. But there's really no reason we, like, don't. Unless something was said yesterday at that whole, like, little fucking get-together they had with Powell. But we were watching that. Like, there was nothing... They weren't gonna say anything new or drastic in that, so... We really had no worries. It's like... I just... chose to close my trade here. It's you make decisions and you live with it as a trader. And the decision's not always going to be the same. There's going to be some times where I close half of this and I just look to like milk the rest. Again, same thing like right now on gold. I haven't closed any of my gold position. And I'm floating very nicely on gold. I mean, gold, I have gold from where I'm from down here. 2310. Yeah, we bought this 4-hour absorption here. I'll even show you the play. We got in, it was like around here, 2310 on this candle. I'll literally show you the, Can I show this? How do I show this? One second. There you go. That's when we got in. That's when I got in gold, or that's when I alerted the Discord that I got into gold. I was already up 30 points because I had to type out the message and market was moving. You know, so it's like this one I'm holding full because this is like a longer term play. Yeah, we were looking for the move to 2356, like visually. It's like, okay, cool. If this absorption works out, we should move to 2356. But that by no means meant I was looking to immediately close it there. So it's all a relative at the end of the day. And the primary difference between the two as well is I could only hold that NASDAQ trade until the end of day because that was on Top Step, whereas that gold trade is with AMP futures. And it's like an actual personal account, so I have no restrictions on like getting out at the end of the day or any sort of bullshit like that. Oil did print a 15-minute OB. Oh shit, I'm not even on the right chart. Did it though? Let's see. Yeah, I guess you're not wrong. Huh? Did it double print too? It even double printed. Yeah, I mean, you couldn't have told me that 12 minutes ago. Nah, it's okay. Yeah, I'll be honest. I'm not in a giant rush to push the button today. Again, we had a great day yesterday. We're up like 1,500 on the week. I'm good. It's also a bank again. Like we have the early close, so I'm hesitant to like even take anything on the bank holiday. I'm not trying to write like in my journal that I lost because I tried to play on like, you know, independent instead. It's just stupid. What's good, Eric? You didn't want to take it yourself? I feel you. I mean, and we'll see if it even works out. That's the best cure to your FOMO is if the market comes back and pushes below that level. Or at the very least, just doesn't do anything significant. Like if we just sit here all day. Whoops. Alright fam, we're gonna watch this stuff real quick. Let me know if there's any other videos or other people's live streams you guys want me to watch or react to real quick. I'm gonna go make a coffee, so I'll be back in literally 2 minutes and 30 seconds. See if I make it, BRB. Alright. Did I make it? Was it 2 minutes and 30 seconds exactly? Oh, of course it was. Got this thing on like a 15-minute chart. Know how YouTube loves to watch 1-minute candles for some reason. GC printed a 1-minute live OB. Honestly, we have to collect data on like the 1-minute live OBs. You know what? That's what I gotta add to the Notion document. Time frame. Yeah, we should probably add that to this so we could filter it out, right? I'm curious, how many of you guys in chat have kept up with your journaling and trading? Actually, I've been slacking a little bit myself. See, can I add? This is what the journal looks like so far. I wanna add time frames into here as well. This is what the journal looks like. We should probably also add we should just make it a select option, right? So people can add their own time frames. AI autofill. I think it knows what we want. AI autofill. We could do M1, M5, 15, 1 hour. 4 hours. I mean, I don't really execute off any other time frame. Even that gold trade, I don't know if I would classify. Actually, I probably would classify that as a 4 hour. Yeah, I don't think we have a daily. 15-minute time frame. Notion every position since March last year. Tradezilla tracks all my trades, so I just review them at the end of the week. Yes, Tradezilla, so I don't know if this feature... See, the one thing that I really wanted to be good from Tradezilla was their, like, replay feature, right? So it's like, so they know what time you bought at, what price you bought at, so theoretically, right, they should be able to recreate that chart. And I think they have a feature that, like, tries to do this. It's like, you know, like the replay trade feature or something like that. My problem is that it sucks. It's just god-awful. First off, like, it only shows it to you on, like, the 1 minute chart, which is, like, not an accurate representation of what you were probably looking at when you entered, right? Unless you were on the 1 minute chart. And then 2, it's like, it struggles from the idea that once the trade gets too old, you can't even do that because TradingView won't display candles back that far. So it's like, if the trade's like a year old, it's like you're not going to be able to look at it on like a 1 minute chart because the data doesn't go back that far. So it's like there's a lot of like problems with that. In theory, fantastic feature. I mean, I hope they get it down. I mean, I would re-sign up if they can get that down. There's like little things like that, and I know they make it so you can add notes and stuff like that for like certain stuff, but I don't know. I'm just a control freak. I need to have full control. So again, like, their platform is great, but if there's ever something that I want to do that I can't do, it pisses me off. It's like with Notion, it's like if I can't do it, I could just figure it out. Like for instance, I added this, right? Which is like a tab for me to like tick if I took the trade for science, which if you've been on my channel or if you've been in the trade room, you know a for science trade means that we took a reduced risk trade. So it's like, instead of risking my full like 1R on it, maybe I took it just to see what happens. So I took like a quarter of what I normally would take, half of what I would normally take. So it's like a trade that maybe isn't fully confirmed or is using some new logic that I'm experimenting with. It's like, so now I can tick these trades, and then on my dashboard or even over here, like, I can just filter this out. I come here and I can filter this out and look for only, you know, the for science trades, and I can get all that data based off that. Or if I want to come in here and I want to filter this, again, by my confirmations, and again, some of this stuff you can do on Tradezilla. It's like, Tradezilla doesn't have a button to label something as for science, and I don't know if you can do that. Maybe you can in a way that I'm not familiar with. I don't know. But it's like, when I get those ideas, I want to just be able to just do that and then see the data the way I want to see the data. So that's why I prefer to build my own shit, because I'm just a control freak. I just need to I need to be able to see everything. Just check on markets real quick. Oil is still kind of just doing its thing here. And NQ hasn't done anything in about an hour. About half an hour. So Tradezilla is definitely cool, but if you want to like really get into like the details of your strategy and what's performing and what's not performing, you should build something custom, or once I finish building this, then I'll put this out there for you guys just to like copy. Also, I like it. I mean, I'm sure Tradezilla does this too, but it's like the dashboard is cool too. So I have like the journal, which is all the trades, and then because I can also, in my journal, I also track like the profit and everything. I also make it so I can identify, where is it, the account that it's in. So I can just be like, oh, it's in a Top Step account, funded account. You can even set a goal for the account if you want, which is, it is what it is, but it does, like, you know, track your progress and shit, which is cool. But then I can see all my accounts at a glance. I can see my overall performance. You know, again, I can filter stuff the way I want to filter, which, you know, I can see win rate by account, which again, you can just log onto your Top Step account and get that. I'm sure Tradezilla does that same thing. My point is, though, is that I'm just in control. You know, again, I can filter stuff by whatever I want. I can filter stuff by time frame, be like, show me only my 15-minute trades. And it'll go through and it'll do that. Again, you know, not that other platforms don't do it, I just like the control, man.
breathing and hold on until we find silence to hear. What if 1 minute would last a complete day? And what you speak to your past, and what will you say?
See if we can get this up as well. Let's change this from Notion. Keep these guys up for a little bit too. I don't get why today is even a bank holiday. I think it's just because it's Wednesday. I don't even know. I don't know. I'm pretty sure they do it on the 3rd. I can't recall if it's on the 3rd every year, as like the bank holiday itself, or if it's just because they prefer to do it on a Wednesday and not on like a Thursday. I don't know. Our plans for tomorrow? Nothing crazy, bro. I mean, like, I'm all for like nationalism, but not like I don't feel the need to like celebrate it. I suppose, or like do anything outwardly about it. You know. It's like I believe all countries should celebrate, but I mean, I'm not really out there rocking my American flag tank top and eating a burger just because it's the 4th of July. Like, I don't know, man. Chill, probably soak up the sun. I would say have a drink, but I don't drink, so. Check Discord? Okay. Hold on, I'm way back. Yeah, saying I'd like. Again, it's not a terrible idea. I'm not against you. Dollar index is about to take those levels. Wally brings up a good question in the Discord though, like what are you gonna take, if anything? Like are you gonna short gold? Are you gonna play something on like EU, UJ? I don't know if you're in the Forex space or the future space when you're looking at that, but yeah, man, I'm just personally I don't feel the need to fight my bias of bearish dollar on a bank holiday. I'd rather just see what NQ does at the open. What are these guys having CNBC over here? So we're gonna hide this until they bring the market stuff back up.
In all that you've done to me, I can't find the meaning.
you guys think is happening over on Top Step TV here? See, hold on, let's see if I can, I'll bring audio off real quick. Always will pause that.
Wait for better trade location. I have yesterday's value area high at 2259 and volume point of control at 221, which is right in the middle of this congestion zone going back to from yesterday and Monday. So keep those levels on your radar.
What did he say? 20, what's that, 2080?
Moving over to crude. How we doing on time, Eddie? We're going to make it.
Okay, man.
All right.
Okay.
Here's the daily of the August crude oil contract. Oil traded in a $1.66 range yesterday, just barely exceeding that 1-year average daily range by a couple of cents. That's 4 days in a row exceeding the average daily range of crude oil.
I could never say this much pointless
down
information.
57 cents on the day. Total volume is 367,000 contracts. A nice pop in volume. Lost 29,000 in open interest.
I already don't want to hear what they have to say. Oh, I never transitioned that over to you guys. LOL. My bad. Alright, oil coming back down towards the lows. NASDAQ maybe starting to do something here. Maybe. I mean, for the lower time frame traders, I mean, they just got some fresh liquidity there that they're taking advantage of. Oh, they're gonna retake this low. Again, we're getting close to the open here, so like I said earlier, I would love to see a bunch of people in and around the open here, so I could trap to the sell side and see what we can do about maybe scooping up some of their volatility down here. About 40 points lower. No, I'm not interested in trading to the downside. I think the sellers have any follow through on this volume too. Probably not going to see volume that matches this though until the open. Any assets correlate or inverse correlate to the crypto markets in a similar way that the DXY, brother. I mean, well, not really. I mean, the thing is, like, crypto will do its own thing outside of the DXY. I mean, that's not uncommon for a lot of assets. I mean, even sometimes gold will decorrelate and things will kind of run over on all in alignment for a couple of days. I mean, specifically, not really, brother. I mean, again, Bitcoin follows a lot of the, especially ever since ETFs. And when I say ETFs, I don't mean the recent approval of spot ETFs. I mean the approval that we had that kickstarted the bear market. So a couple years ago now. That's what I'm referring to. The original non-spot ETFs. Ever since then, it's been following macros. Like again, they tracked or led whatever you want to say. Indices all through like the bear market and the correction through higher interest rates. They've also seemingly turned around at the same time, again coinciding with when inflation kind of peaked at 8% and people started seeing the writing on the wall that inflation wasn't going to get any worse. So again, they're like, ever since those original ETFs, like again, it tracks normal markets pretty closely. Again though, they're going to have their times where they run independently. You know, like NASDAQ had a great day yesterday, Bitcoin didn't. Again, just because there's correlation in a market in like the macro doesn't mean the intraday is always there. So they have like a macro correlation. But there's like, you know, it's like anything, bro. Everything is connected. That's what you need to understand about money markets. Like everything is connected. You can't purchase or sell anything in any market without impacting something else because it's an exchange, right? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're in a barter system, if you're buying and selling gold, or you're exchanging something for that gold, you're exchanging something for that dollar, you're exchanging something for that Bitcoin. So there's nothing in any market that is done that doesn't have an impact on something else to some degree. And again, some of those degrees are very, 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 very small and they don't matter at all, and some of them are very, very large and they matter a great deal. So, like, everything impacts everything. But not everything has an immediate reaction to everything either. And that's what makes trading a game where most people lose, is because, again, most people only look at, you know, what was, and they get lost in the what could be. Or what should be. Yeah, Wally, I can agree with that. Again, like I said, I would like to see people get suckered in here on the morning price action. I would like to see us push lower between 9:30 and 10. Then I would like to play against that. And maybe if you guys are lucky, you'll watch me lose some money. Which is always fun, isn't it? Alright. About the open here in 30 seconds. Still haven't done anything in close to an hour. Alright, ding ding. Got the opening bell. Hello, boys. Another day where we run out the gate. Come on, give us some trap some people. Don't be lame and just fly. Yep, looks like we're running hot right out the open here. Is Tesla running pre-market? Lit. 236. Let's fucking go. What are we up, like 30% on this now? About? Yeah, this might be a day where we just don't grab the liquidity, huh? Guess we just had a bad read and something printed and we just weren't paying attention. Not that I like to trade. Curious if this stays active all through PMI. Or not PMI, the hell am I saying? ISM. Which is... do they have services? ISM services PMI? Yeah, okay. ISM services PMI, new orders. They also have oil. Why didn't we have FOMC minutes tomorrow because of the holiday, right? Thursday at 2? No, is it today at 2? It still is today. Wow, it's today at 2 when the market's closed. Because the market closes at 1. That's okay. Yeah, what a fucking... yeah, what a Wednesday, man. Bank holiday, FOMC minutes an hour after the market close. Asian session should be fun. We're definitely gonna do a little something in the Discord, I think, tonight. Yeah, man, definitely gonna be interesting. Hopefully Tesla keeps up this energy. 237. Where's our next major? Another gap up on the day 2. Yeah, we might run into some supply above here, but outside of that, I don't see why we don't just go for like the whole 310 pocket up here. Thing is, too, is a lot of this might be hype up based off what was tweeted about earnings. They're expected to do a delivery beat. Or, well, we know that there's a delivery beat, I should say. So I wonder if this is being, like, exaggerated before that. Well, either way, I'll take it. Again, it's not my job to tell the market it's being irrational. Just to take advantage of when it is being irrational. So... alright, we got 5 minutes past the open here. Let's see what NASDAQ does. Again, I ran right out the gates here, but I still would like a swipe with these lows. The 15-minute, I guess we took out this lone candle too, which is interesting if we do react off here. But I would like to see us push down. Again, I wouldn't prefer to trade bearish, but I'd actually prefer not to trade at all. Again, given that it's a bank holiday. What are my thoughts on gaps in the market? They're natural. There's nothing wrong with a gap in the market. Alright, what are your thoughts about a gap? And all a gap means is that price action happened after the data feed was turned offline. That's all that means. There's no other secret to it. It's not some people try to like trade to close gaps and then this and that, and again, I've never seen a data tested strategy about gaps that would make me want to ever trade. And in fact, I usually trade away from gaps. Like if price gaps up, like fucking keep sending it, baby. Like what's the problem with that? Same thing if it gaps down, like keep sending it. Again, all a gap means is that something happened in the market that you were not able to be a part of. Probably miss your big short on UJ? Nah, it's impossible. Both banks haven't pivoted yet. There's no way I've missed my big short on UJ. No, there's no way. This is up at 161. We're not gonna miss it. We do have to wait for it to confirm. Again, it just when both central banks move. It's just like if both pivot, it's gonna no end to its sell pressure. But it's quite possible that the Bank of Japan just very simply lets their currency die. It wouldn't be the first time that a currency just collapsed. The yen could just fall into the exotic category of just never-ending, decreasing value of bullshit. And if that's what they want to do, fucking who am I to tell them that they can't, man? But if the US pivots and the Bank of Japan pivots too, I think you'd be an idiot to not short USDJPY. There's definitely going to be a multi-thousand pip correction if that's the case. They leave negative rates. We start cutting rates. I mean, textbook logic should tell you one thing. Can they be traded? Can gaps be traded? I mean, again, it's like why? That would be my question. Is like, for me, and let me not even answer it that way, because for me, I've been trading a long time. I've never seen anything that happened with a gap that has like convinced me that I should get in or out of a market. I've just never seen anything that I would use as an execution model. If you have a pattern that you've noticed, then you should test that, figure it out, and then build a plan around it. You know? But like I wouldn't, I don't know, what would the appeal be? Like what would the appeal be? Is like was my first question, you know? I trade things I know, bro. I understand supply and demand. Again, I have a long history with supply and demand, both inside of markets and outside of markets, or in what are called like fox market, fake markets. I'm not talking about like demo trading. I'm talking about like, you know, like markets in like games. Like I've manipulated supply and demand in games. I understand how supply and demand works. And I've translated that knowledge into, well, I enhanced that knowledge with Wyckoff logic concepts, learned about things like the law of effort, and then used those concepts to build a strategy that works for me. So again, like if you know something about gaps in markets and you have some knowledge that I don't, you could probably build a good strategy. But again, I don't see the appeal. It's not a market like dynamic. You know, there's a reason I trade supply and demand. It's like a real living, breathing dynamic that exists even off the candlesticks. Like if you understand supply and demand, like candlesticks don't even really do anything for you. The volume bars don't even really do anything for you. They're just showing me information displayed differently. I can look at that information any which way. Right? It doesn't have to be that. You can give me like a spreadsheet of orders that you could divide them. You could give me 2 spreadsheets of order again, like a DOM almost, like level 2 data. Like I can look at level 2 data and I can make the same assumptions of where volume was traded, where orders were accumulated, where orders may be sitting. It's like there's real logic inside of that, you know. So that's why I prefer to trade the way that I do. It's the same thing with people that trade ICT concepts, like. And this is, again, like you might have seen the title of this video, right? It says, like, not ICT or whatever. That's just me being nice, because, like, again, I'm gonna lie to you guys. Part of the reason why ICT is even in the title is just, like, an algorithm thing. I really could fucking care less about ICT trading or anything of the sort. But I do find it interesting, because a lot of those people that trade that way say, oh, we trade like the banks. Which is a wrong expression of what they do. They don't trade like the banks. The banks do not fucking trade like that. What you're trading is the footprint, right? The footprint of the way that the banks trade, right? Because the banks are doing something completely different. They're not doing what you're doing. What you're doing is just witnessing the aftermath behavior of the banks and then trying to find execution parameters that align with that narrative. And then setting risk to reward, you know, parameters around that, and then building a strategy, which is how you do anything. Again, supply and demand is the same thing. It's you're reading the footprint of what has happened. You can't hide accumulation. You just can't do it. There's always a sign, whether it's again a low effort sell off that gets absorbed, or it's again like an internal absorption, right? Because all the spring is just a low effort sell off that buyers take advantage of, right? A liquidity grab, that's all that is. As price moves down, if the sellers are not sustainable because there's not enough shares being traded down there because the dealer has already accumulated all the shares, and these are just now the remaining shares they're trying to snag, right? Because they pulled the liquidity, aka the demand that was sitting in the books, because again, they're at this point, there's no liquidity left, right? And that's all supply and demand mechanics. You can't hide that, whether it's in, you know, whether you decode that in, you know, candlestick movements, or you decode that by reading volume, or you decode that by reading level 2 data, or you decode that by, you know, not really decoding it, but like, you know, experiencing the breakout of it, right? Experiencing the effects of it, and then trading the effects, right? So momentum traders, it's all the same thing. You're all doing the same thing. You're decoding the same thing no matter what. So it's like, again, like, how do gaps fall inside of that narrative? It's like, there's no real narrative to build with that, because by the time you're getting a gap, things in the market have already kind of ran their course. And again, like the gaps in Tesla, like what do the gaps in Tesla tell you? Nothing. It just tells you that price is moving up with momentum. It's like it's moving up so much in pre and post market that it's opening at a different price than it officially closed at. There's nothing else that tells you. It's like, look how many gaps are on this chart. There's like 1 billion gaps on this chart. Like, fucking... It's like, you know? Some of them are huge, some of them continue to move, some of them do nothing, some of them immediately reverse, like this. It's like, these don't really tell you anything. Other than price opened up at a different price that it closed out. I don't know how to build a strategy around that. Not gonna sit here and pretend like I would. Alright, so the Nasdaq is doing absolutely jack shit here. Into ISM PMI. So definitely annoying, man. Hopefully that rant also didn't go over everybody's head. I was a little all over the place, but hopefully you understand just a little bit more about how markets and strategies work. If not, you may need to go rewatch that because, again, markets are very simple, man. They're just buyers and sellers. All those buyers and sellers leave very specific footprints about what they're doing, which can lead you to make some assumptions about what may happen next. I'm sure there's a bunch of people that are trading away from, like, this opening, like, imbalance or inefficiency. I think this is pretty sloppy off of here. I'm still gonna root for ISM to kind of push us lower, but that's more because I was annoyed that we didn't swipe any lower here, rather than this specifically telling me anything. Let's put this back. Oil. Alright, let me do this. A little bit of possible oil absorption here. I still would prefer to trade after the news, though.
Earlier, we were net importers of steel.
From IT services to SaaS, from consumer electronics to space tech, from mere programming to AI ML.
Cars, two-wheelers, three-wheelers, commercial vehicles have significantly become much more expensive than they were 2 decades ago.
Discounting is high there, but their focus is squarely on the 125cc segment.
Now it is contributing 16% of incremental global GDP.
Now we're looking at exporting the steel that's made here in India.
Is this? I was gonna say this is like not the right stream at all. Yeah, I was gonna say this is not like American.
hitting the road over the next couple of days here. Who do I need to thank for these gas prices? What is driving this news?
A lot of this is simply a normalization of the economy, still post-COVID, Russia's war in Ukraine. But all in all, U.S. oil production remains at record levels, 13.2 million barrels a day. Gasoline demand has been somewhat soft this summer, so you can almost thank consumers for that. As we go into July 4, we're seeing gas prices that are basically on par with what they were last year, at least nationally. But here's the big news. 10 states where you can find average gas prices 25 cents a gallon or more below last year. If you're on the West Coast, you're a big winner. Washington State seeing prices 66 cents lower this July 4 than last year. Oregon, Alaska, Wyoming, all seeing prices about 35 cents lower this July 4 than last year. So some big savings out there with gas prices basically on par with what we saw last July 4.
Is that a heat map of gas prices in the back?
WTI and Brent, both of them hovering right now mid-80s, low to mid-80s level. What is your kind of top-end projection for where we could see this move to in the near term?
Well, I think there remains some upward pressure in oil markets, as you mentioned. WTI about $83 a barrel. It seems like we may be bouncing off an upper limit, although we could go a little bit higher. There's certainly been a lot more anxiety in the market here over the last couple of weeks. WTI up about $10 a barrel from where we were in early June. It's hard to pinpoint exactly the sentiment shift here.
This makes me wanna sell low key. I'm not going to, but I'm just saying.
Obviously, some central banks globally starting to lower interest rates. That could boost demand slightly. Also, we're in the midst of now what's the earliest Category 5 hurricane in the Atlantic that we've ever seen. So it's a stark reminder that as global inventories are starting to decline, we could be on the hook for some additional risk here in the second half of the summer. I think WTI could go a little bit higher here, especially if we do see a major organized storm. I think maybe $90 could be tested briefly before we start to get to those cooler months. I think the coast starts to clear in September and October, and that could usher in a national average that falls below $3 a gallon later this year.
So talk to us about that hurricane season you mentioned. It's obviously top of mind for investors, but oil markets could be moving not just on weather, but also on those geopolitical tensions over the next couple of quarters here. Which do you anticipate being the bigger catalyst for oil?
Well, you know, I think the Middle East is certainly worrisome, especially when you talk about Israel and Hezbollah going at it and how Iran now has a presidential election. There's a lot to watch geopolitically. But for now, I think kind of the story is still with the U.S. consumer. We saw some really bullish travel numbers, but I think it's important to mention that U.S. gasoline demand is still far below record levels this July 4. Now, the U.S. economy could start to improve. But we're really the trendsetter when it comes to global gasoline consumption. U.S. gasoline demand really struggling this summer to hit 9 million barrels, where prior to COVID, it was routine that we'd see demand well over 9 million barrels and potentially even approaching 10 million barrels. So I think that's part of the conversation here is still a U.S. consumer that may not be hitting the road, but more traveling. You look at TSA passenger screening numbers, they're at record levels. But I think that's still, we're in the post-COVID world where consumers may not be road tripping as much this summer, but they may be gravitating towards jumping on a plane. Airlines seeing more capacity and lower airfares than we saw last summer.
I'll be jumping on my bike, Patrick. Appreciate it. Patrick DeHaan, who is the Gas Buddy Head of Petroleum Analysis. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
We've got all your markets action straight ahead. Stay tuned. You're watching Morning Brief.
Stay tuned, they say, huh? Yeah, interesting thoughts about oil. I mean, it's definitely been on a tear. The more headlines that makes, the more I think we're kind of here hitting the peak of that. But I'm not gonna make decisions off of one dude's opinions there. Now, short-term sell to buy. It could be interesting. Let's go take a look at YM specifically. Dude, what the fuck, dude? Why can't NASDAQ do this? Yeah, I would like to see NAS follow first, though. I prefer to trade the NQ. I have to go full margin on EU? Why? Do you even have anything up here that you're executing off of, bro? I know the dollar index took this liquidity, we've been waiting on it, but... I don't know, brother. Best of luck with that one. I would at least feel comfortable with something printed, you know? You don't even have anything that's printed, bro. EQ continuing the push. Oil still just sitting here doing nothing. I don't know, man. We have to I think we have to just accept the fact that NQ didn't give us the liquidity that we wanted. I might have to sit out for this. 1 hour loan kit? Yeah, no, you still need something. Still need something to foreign, brother. Unless you're trying to get in before news. Again, you might be trying to do. Need to set up a hotkey to lower and raise volume. Nancy Pelosi made some moves. Position this back real quick.
To figure out the financials behind this, I would be curious to see how much the hotels are paying Blade for this service, and also how the financing works. If I was someone who was already paying for these suites and the cost of the suite didn't go up, I'd be like, well then, what was I paying for in the first place?
It says Pelosi bought $5 million of Broadcom and another $1.2 million of Nvidia. She bought another 1.2 up here. Did she really? Why? She also sold 500K of Tesla and 536,000 of Visa. She exited Tesla and Visa to go more into Nvidia? That's fucking... Okay. I would disagree with that, but okay.
At the end of the day here, it's been a tough ride of it, choppy, if you will, or turbulent for Blade. You know, just the air travel puns, they run abound.
No,
but
you're right,
anyway.
Brad. Yeah, they were
AVGO.
a little bit of a free money environment, and via a SPAC, which we know led to a wide variety of companies going public that maybe wouldn't have in our current interest rate environment. But nonetheless,
Yeah, I'm good on that.
I can look forward to never having access to this.
I'm good on that.
No, we're not saying never. We are speaking these things as though they were.
Well, he's gonna be fine. He's got it.
Well, I hope so one day.
All right, well, coming up, we're gonna have breaking data on the services sector right at the top of the 10 a.m. hour. Myself,
Bro, didn't we just take a break?
top of our show, Catalyst, after the break.
I thought we just took a break. What the fuck? Did we not just I could have swore they just cut to a break, but okay. Okay. Yeah, man, these markets are boring today. I don't think there's really no setup that we like. Again, we hit for a 1 to 5, if not like a 1 to 10 yesterday. So right now this is just boring markets, man. Nothing we can do about that. Oh shit, we just had PMI ISM just dropped. about that. Decreases. Alright, a little bit more sell volume there in the NQ now. Give this a couple more minutes, we'll see if this does anything for us. Saint, you're kind of lucky you didn't sell that, huh? Bro, I would try to buy NQ, man, but I just don't. I just, like, we have the holiday now. It's like the only thing we're looking forward to now is that the market closes at 1. So I'm a sit out. There's no reason for me to, like, why are we gonna take a trade at 10 o'clock in what's been a mostly range bound market that closes at 1, right? It's like, I don't know, man. Doesn't seem like that's the smart, disciplined trader decision to make. Thank Lord. See now you have a chance that, because now you have all this volume that's in below the low. Now again, if you start to erase, or now if you print something, again, it might not be bad, only because you're looking at like the 4x pairs, again, even though probably the whole market's gonna fall flat, if I had to guess. But again, like, you're even swiping these like 104.70 lows now, so again, maybe not right now, but maybe after rollover, again, maybe you do get that little bit of a creep up into some of the NFP numbers. It's a possibility, bro, now that you've got like the exhaustive volume. Like, we start to get back above here, and there's some ideas. Again, same thing with NASDAQ here, is like, I could see why some people would maybe have taken this, down here, see if maybe wants to continue up. But again, I think this is going into the holiday hours is just, I don't know, I just think it's unnecessary. But the NASDAQ closes up here at like 1 o'clock, then it is what it is. I mean, no one's gonna be mad that they took that at the end of the day. So yeah, now that you've gotten this explosive volume, bro, I wouldn't be surprised if something like EU just, again, it has that kind of blow off top. Again, they traded into the news all morning. Again, they're probably gonna be like taking profits up here if I had to guess. So again, you have the possibility. I won't be joining you. Possibility is there. And again, it doesn't hit any of the execution parameters that I would trade quite yet, so I definitely wouldn't be in a position. For a science short on NASDAQ? On a 5-minute? Okay. Again, though, do what you gotta do. But if you're gonna document something, bro, document the fact that the candle that you're engulfing did not close in fresh liquidity. Because again, this pattern, from my recollection, is stronger when this actually closes above the previous high and the engulfing happens here. So that would be the one thing that I would want to document about that. And again, that's the point of documenting, is to document the discrepancies between how it should be. So that would be my main issue with it, though. Otherwise, I agree, it's not a terrible setup, but especially if you're targeting like down here and possibly even maybe some of this, if you're lucky enough to get that much volatility. But again, that's just my little warning to you, brother. Yeah, pretty boring day, kind of as expected. Again, that's kind of why we also came live for the public here. In case you guys are new to the stream, or the channel in general, we have a bunch of educational videos on the channel. We do go live inside of a private community Tuesday through Thursday generally, and going forward sometimes during Asian session. If you want to be a part of that, that's cool. If not, follow us here on the channel, subscribe on the channel, plenty of free education for y'all. Actually, as I get off here, I'll be queuing up another video that's going to be going live probably by 11 a.m. I have to go make thumbnails, so maybe 11:30. I don't know. We'll see how long that takes me. But yeah, once that video is up, y'all can watch that, enjoy that. It's all about volatility, I think, this week. But yeah, boring markets, man. Nothing really going on. The people that are part of the trade room will probably take a look at markets during Asian session tonight, just because, again, the holiday, we have some pent-up volatility here. So I'm going to be active around 8:15 tonight Eastern Standard Time, if you guys are going to be looking at some charts as well. But yeah, outside of that, family, I think I'm pretty good on the day. These markets are gonna kind of slow down into the holiday early close here at 1 p.m. Anything final for me, family? Going once, going twice. If not, I'm going to turn up the music. I'm going to enjoy the rest of my morning and go get this video uploaded so y'all can learn some more and continue to progress in your own trading journeys. But yeah, family, I'm going to bump the music up. Love and appreciate y'all. It's your boy Skag. And unless there's any other questions, I'm tuning out.